I will say a little bit more, not only in the current scenario, but people who have been recent leaders who might or might not be in a leadership position today. I can speak from my perspective. I learned focusing on values and not giving up what I am committed to, what I believe that it is important, and go towards it without stopping. I learned it from Mahatma Gandhi. Even now, many people look at whether Gandhi had his own faults and whether he was a good leader, whether he was a leader in everything. There are lots of questions that come about. But for me, when nobody believed in nonviolence, when nobody believed in satyagraha, as he called it, he believed in it. He produced extraordinary results that most people could not get. Freedom from violent means all through the history. He was able to achieve it with non-violent means. So from that perspective, he is one of the most inspirational and innovative leader. So if you ask me who was the inspirational and innovative leader, I will say Mahatma Gandhi. Of course, because I had a chance to interact with Steve Jobs and I worked for Apple for several years, people frequently ask, do I consider Steve Jobs a leader? Yes and no. He was a great leader because he believed in his people to accomplish things that they themselves did not believe they could do it. There are examples. One story that comes up is when there was a gentleman who was creating a particular application in Apple Macintosh that made the Macintosh boot up after 2 minutes of boot up time. Steve Jobs wanted to bring it down to less than a minute. The person said, I have done all the coding that I can do. I can do all what can be translated into machine language. I have done. It's not possible for me to do. Steve Jobs asked him, if your daughter is in surgery and her surgery will only be successful if this Macintosh can boot up within that particular time and give an answer. Under those circumstances, what will you do to make the Macintosh boot up real fast? To make a long story short, this guy did achieve significantly more than what he himself thought. It was impossible for him to make any progress. So in some respects, Steve Jobs was able to coax impossible results from people. That was not possible. Of course, the means by which he did that and the way in which he worked with it, many people may not like it. And from that perspective, he may not be a leader, he may not be an inspirational leader, but his results in making us, many of the people who worked with him for a long time, they have enormous confidence and they made spectacular contribution to the universe. So from that perspective, he is a leader. So I can go around talking about different leaders in different perspectives. Elon Musk right now is a hot property. He is the richest person on the planet. And he is a guy who manages a brain company, a space company, a news company, and a car company simultaneously. People look at what he did with the Twitter. He bought it for $44 billion or something like that. Now people say it may not even be worth $20 billion. So from the perspective of a manager, from the perspective of some of Twitter X, probably not. Tesla, he did spectacular job. He stayed and slept in the factories and he produced spectacular results. Now Tesla, for many people in the Silicon Valley, is a gold standard of what a car can be. He made things achievable that he made it pretty much car to be an iPad on wheels, a computer on wheels. That changed the entire automobile industry. And his company is worth, Tesla is worth many of the other companies combined together. In that respect, he produced spectacular results. So now, would you take Tesla as an example and say he is a terrible leader, or would you take Tesla versus X, Twitter, you say great leader or terrible leader, Tesla you would say great leader or terrible leader? I would say you need to look at something behind all that. His is a mind, an extraordinarily capable mind, which believes in running 4 different companies simultaneously and still be able to make each of them reasonably successful, is truly an innovative, creative, genius mind. I want to learn from there. So from the perspective of a genius leader, I would say he is next to Steve Jobs. So summarizing, I'll say, who is a leader? There is no one person who can fulfill in every dimension to be extraordinary. But if I can identify where am I getting the inspiration from, what element I am looking at somebody as a leader, then these are some people that come to my mind.